What's going on, YouTube? It's Unger to the Max here. And I heard a rumor about what the possible main event could be for UFC 230. But I'm not sure I fully believe it. But I figured I would pass the information on to you regardless. And that is Jon Jones against Alexander Gustafsson 2 could be the main event for UFC 230, which I don't understand. And here's why. Daniel Cormier is both the heavyweight champion, unfortunately, and the light heavyweight champion. I'm okay with that. By the way, I say unfortunately about him being the light heavyweight champion because he knocked out Stipe Miocic at UFC 226. And Stipe is one of my favorite fighters of all time, and he's from Cleveland. So it's disappointing that he got knocked out. But Cormier is also one of my favorite players. So as much as I love Cormier and support him, my support for him went down one notch because he beat Stipe. So anyway, since Cormier is the light heavyweight champion, I don't understand why Jones against Gustafsson 2 would be the main event for UFC 230 when there would be no belt on the line. I would think for the third pay-per-view event at Madison Square Garden, the main event needs to have a belt on the line. That's just my thought. And then for UFC 231, it sounds like the main event is going to be Max Holloway against Brian Ortega for the UFC Featherweight Championship. Now, the last few times that Holloway has been booked to be the main event, or to defend his belt, he hasn't been able to do it. UFC 226, he was scheduled to face Brian Ortega in the co-main event for Holloway's featherweight belt. Holloway couldn't do it because he apparently experienced concussion symptoms. UFC 223, Holloway was going to step in on short notice and fight Khabib Nurmagomedov in the main event for the vacated UFC light heavyweight belt. But Max Holloway couldn't make weight, so he was out of that fight. UFC 222, Max Holloway was scheduled to face Frankie Edgar in the main event for, guess what, Holloway's featherweight belt. Did that fight happen? No. Holloway had to pull out. So the main event for that pay-per-view became Chris Cyborg against Yana Kunitskaya for Cyborg's featherweight belt, and Cyborg easily dispatched her. And then Brian Ortega came in on short notice and beat Frankie Edgar in the co-main event, and which set up the match between Holloway and Ortega. And then UFC 232, the main event will be at least from what I'm hearing, it will be Chris Cyborg against Amanda Nunes for Chris Cyborg's belt. So that's your quick UFC update. Until next time, this is Unger to the Max saying, go Cavs, go Blue Jackets, and go Browns. If you liked this video, punch that like button like a UFC fighter right in the belly and punch that subscribe button. I'll see you next time.